so good, that sun is shining.
What's up guys, I am currently in the Valley of Fire in Nevada, near Las Vegas. We are on state 47, we have 3 states left. In a couple of days I am heading over to Arizona and then we are going back to LA to finish our last 2 states. I messaged someone that I met on Instagram at the start of this trip before I had done any states. His name was Justin, or Warthog Bike as we call him. And he had moved from San Diego into Las Vegas. And it's been about 9 months in the making, but I finally met up with him here and he's the one holding the camera at the moment. I've only been here 2 days with him, but he's given me his home as Mi Casa Su Casa, which is awesome in Vegas. But yesterday we went for a ride with his friend to Red Rock Canyon, where we had just like a little taster of what's to come today. And now we're in Valley of Fire. But before we came here, we actually went to one of Justin's barbers, which is called Speakeasy's, and it's in an old Vegas hotel, and it's a very cool location. And I obviously mentioned to Justin that I've been to over 20 barbers in the US and they've all given me shit haircuts. So I was very skeptical today, but you know what? The guy that cut my hair really came through, and as I'm sure you can tell, it's fresh as This episode I flipped the role a little bit, so instead of me asking the questions while I'm giving a haircut, I was actually asking the questions while getting the haircut. So I was able to ask a barber that had been training for the last 5-6 years about his experiences and his life lessons to give me some advice. Take like, how much off?
Half an inch?
Yeah, probably, but it's...
About a month's worth?
Yeah, well, I haven't had it cut in almost 2, so...
Okay.
As long as it sits flat and it's like a square shape at the front.
Okay.
But you can take where my fringe is, sometimes they front fade it, but where it comes down, where the hair starts growing, that's how sharp you can bring it up to. We know when you have a good standard of haircut, you know when you go get a shit haircut, you can tell straight away. Mm-hmm. So like, now whenever I get a haircut and I sit and I watch someone how they cut, I'm like,
But you know the difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut?
I can tell within the first couple of minutes. The fact that you like even know how to section my hair, because most barbers don't know, like male barbers don't know how to section men's hair. They don't know, like, do you know when you cut hair, do you look at what shape you're going to create, whether it's square, circle. So like, I'll never forget when I was in Miami and the dude started just picking my hair up with a pair of a comb and just started chopping away at it. I was like, no.
Yeah, so growing up, like the barber for me, like wasn't really a thing. My dad would just cut my hair and I would taper out the sideburns on the back of the neck, you know, and kind of just comb everything up and spike it up. But my dad, so he would cut it, but he didn't really know how to work the clippers, right? So for him, a taper was like, he would just bald it out to the line, and then he's like, don't worry, mijo, the fade would come in.
When I got someone in my chair, on my little stool, I asked them what has their greatest adventure in life been.
Okay. So you're asking me what my greatest adventure? I was like, okay, yeah.
No, I got 3 questions for you. So the first one is, what's been your greatest adventure in life?
In life?
Yeah, man. How old are you, by the way?
I'm 26.
Okay, same age as me.
I'd say my greatest adventure in life so far, 20 to 23 to 24. And that many years just because that's kind of like when I started like changing trajectory of like, you know what, like I'm tired of working corporate America, like I want to do something else. And you have this idea and you're kind of afraid to like, you know, fall off the cliff. But I'm like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna run with it. And worst comes worst, like, you know, at least I gave it a shot and I didn't live with, oh, I wonder what would have happened if.
The regret.
Right? So, yeah, at one point, I mean, I was working like corporate retail, you know, and I had like run into a lot of barbers, you know, and at the time, like my barber and I were really close.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, one day I got fed up, I walked out of work. And I was like, you know what, let's pursue this. I think it was just like the hustle, right?
Yeah, you missed the hustle.
Yeah, like everybody always talks about the end goal, like once you achieve like your version of success.
Yeah.
But I feel like the greatest adventure for me was like the grind of it, you know, like I learned like to love the the failures, you know, like.
Fall in love with failure.
Yeah,
That's
man,
what I
you know, that, and you know, the hustle, you working 3, 4 jobs, saving all your money you can, you know, running low on sleep, you know. But then like stuff just starts working out, and like you slowly start seeing like all the progress, and it starts coming together. And it's crazy how life like just syncs up and connects. And you keep a positive like mind, and you know, things just start coming together.
The next question, sir, is what has been your greatest challenge in life?
I'd say balancing life.
Balancing life, how so?
Yeah, like, you know, you're too busy working sometimes, you don't really, you start neglecting yourself in a way sometimes, you know? You put so much focus on either work and like other priorities, sometimes you kind of forget to, you know, put some water in your cup, you know?
Sure.
I think
Balancing
balancing life is a huge challenge in life for anyone. Once they get like, you know, really busy and start figuring out like their routine. I think that's a huge challenge.
Do you feel like you've got better at it or worse?
I definitely feel that I've acknowledged it, and I'm working towards making it better. Yeah, I think acknowledgement too, and you know, acting on it is a huge step in the right direction.
Coming up to the end of my haircut,
Okay.
the final question I like to ask everyone, well, usually that sits in my seat, but obviously we flipped it today,
Right.
is that imagine you had a 15-year-old version of yourself
Okay.
sitting in this chair with you, and you were doing the exact same thing. What advice, if any, would you give that 15-year-old version of yourself?
Don't live with regret, man. Just do it.
Don't live with regret.
Just do it. Yeah.
Do you
And
feel like
hustle in your 20s.
hustle in your 20s?
Take every opportunity you can.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's probably the only thing, yeah.
Don't, man, I love that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like as you got older, you've been able to learn to hustle more and do
Definitely.
the things that you want to do?
Definitely.
That's wicked, bro.
Definitely.
Boom shakalaka. That's some good
Oh.
advice right there. And now I'm a nun.
There you go. You're the new Auntie Ann.
Hello, darling. Welcome. Come get some food. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Of
bro.
course.
Come see me in London. Third time's a charm. So yesterday, after my amazing haircut at Speakeasy Barber in Las Vegas, and after my ride with Justin, or Warthog bike, around the mountains of Nevada desert, I went to an area where Justin brought me, where there was a whole bunch of stunt riders doing wheelies on Harley Davidsons and just doing some amazing tricks. So I had a chat with one of them, and I offered to give him a haircut in the middle of the desert here, and that's what we're going to be doing here today, giving out one of the stunt riders a free haircut.
Yeah?
What the is this prick doing? What a All right, bro. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. So what do you want to do with your hair today?
Just trim up the sides,
Yeah?
trim up the beard.
Make you look handsome again.
Yeah, make me look good.
Good stuff, bro. Can definitely do that. You got your Harley here. You're a stunt rider, right?
Yeah.
And how long you been a stunt rider for?
I mean, I've been doing wheelies for about 6 years now on the Harley.
On this Harley?
Not on this Harley. I've had 3 other bikes that I did stunts on.
Yeah. So everyone that usually sits in my my little stool, as you have it, I love asking them like a couple of questions. So if you're up for it, I'll ask you some questions about life and
Let's do it.
Sound good?
Yes, sir.
Cool, man. So the first question I like to ask everyone that sits in my little stall is, what has been your greatest adventure in life so far? I told you they're hard questions.
I went into business for myself. Actually, it's about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago now. I lost my job at Harley, and I really didn't have a choice. It was in the middle of pandemic. I was working out of my garage then for about 9 months, and then they tried to raise the rent stupid high on my house. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and get into a shop and just keep it going from there. So I moved in with my friend and got into a shop, and I've been going at it ever since April of last year.
Fair play, man. Sounds like you had a pretty good adventure.
I'll tell you what, man, it is not bad.
Going out on your own can sometimes be very like scary, no? You're unsure of like not having that regular paycheck coming in. Do you feel like now that you've done it, it was the best decision you could have ever made?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever go back to working for somebody in this industry ever again.
Oh, really?
No.
What's the best thing about working for yourself?
I don't have to answer to somebody. I used to get yelled at for a lot of dumb stuff at this last job, like wasn't wearing their black pants. I was wearing black pants, but I wasn't wearing their black pants.
Just being stickler for the rules.
Kind of, yeah. Like,
you know, I get it.
Just micromanaging shit that I don't deal with.
It's pointless getting into it with someone like that when they just want you to follow that. It's like a power flex thing.
It is a power flex. Like, I'm doing my job very well, leave me alone.
Yeah. I completely get you, man. I never get that micromanaging. If someone's doing a good job, irrespective of they're not following all the rules. You know, the thing is, I feel like people in sales jobs get away with it more because they're bringing in money, but I feel like when you're just a mechanic or when you're just doing a job where they expect you to just pay your salary, they expect you to just follow the rules to the T, which I think is a really stupid way to do business. So the next question I like to ask everyone is, what has been your greatest challenge in life?
As funny as it sounds, any sort of relationship for me is a challenge.
Is it with women in particular? I don't know what your preference is, but...
Yeah, women. Yeah. I mean, relationships, friendships, I have a hard time with that.
Okay.
I'm a very blunt person, and I say what's on my mind, and a lot of people these days just don't like that. So
people don't like the honesty from most people. Yeah, no, I get that. And how have you been able to overcome that as you got older? How old are you, by the way?
I'm 30.
Oh, you're young, man.
Yeah.
Young man.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, really, there's really no way to overcome it. You either, you know, get depressed that you don't have friends, or you just continue to be your authentic self, and the ones that are going to stay regardless of how you act.
Do you feel like you found some really authentic friends because they respect you and they appreciate you for who you are?
Yeah, I have.
The final question that I like to ask everyone, it's a tough question, you ready? If you had a 15-year-old version of yourself, what advice, if any, would you give to that person in front of you?
Keep going.
Keep going.
Doesn't matter what you're doing, you're going to do it and you're going to do just fine. Just keep going.
Do you feel like you've been able to follow that motto within your own life?
100%.
Yeah? And look where it's brought you right now, huh?
I think about that all the time, because when I was 16, 17, I was going through some shit.
Yeah.
Not bad, but something that I'd never been through, and just kept going, and it worked out pretty well so far.
Grab your hand, man. Nice and sharp through the corners.
Oh, yeah.
The beard, I kept the line nice and straight here, and then basically just shaped up the bottom so the line at the bottom is super low, just like mine.
Yes, sir. It looks good.
Good stuff, man.
Fine, gonna take some time, gonna make her mine, gonna make
hope you guys enjoyed this different style of video. Thanks to Justin, Warthog Bike. If you haven't followed him on Instagram, I'm going to tag him just below. If you like this video, do me a favor, click that subscribe and like button, and I will see you tomorrow for a haircut. And then our next state, Arizona.